Good, happy Monday afternoon. It is Monday, October 28, 2024. I'm Riley King, and welcome to your Monday afternoon edition of WRMK News 12 at noon. We have a lot of news to get to this afternoon, so let's get started right now. First up, police release new details on baby who overdosed. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
It speaks for itself, the gravity of the situation.
Charlestown police are releasing new information about what led up to a 9-month-old overdosing on fentanyl last month. They say a 30-year-old man from Proctorsville, Vermont, was visiting his son at the Meadowview Apartments on Claremont Road when he dropped a baggie containing drugs on the floor.
Before he and another adult in the house could find it, the 9-month-old was able to the baggie, rip it in half.
The mother called 911 as she was rushing the baby to the hospital. Within a minute of that call, a Claremont officer found them and gave the baby Narcan.
Once they were able to administer that, it successfully blocked the opioid, and the child was able to begin breathing normally.
DCYF is now involved in the case. Chris Stawaz at AMR is reminding families to keep their prescription drugs or any opioids where kids can't find them.
If you have people over who maybe have substance use disorder, you have to pay particular attention to that as well.
Police say the man who dropped the bag is not facing criminal charges, but they also say the case is being forwarded to the Sullivan County Attorney's Office. Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
We need good jobs over here. We need good manufacturing jobs, good union jobs.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Manchester Police Chief to retire later this year. Manchester Police Chief Alan Aldenberg announced his plans to retire. In a letter to Mayor Jay Ross on Monday morning, Aldenberg said he plans to retire effective November 29th. Aldenberg has been in the law enforcement for 27 years and has served as Manchester's police chief since 2020. Man charged in connection with Concord shooting. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
We need strong supporters of our local public schools and the State House. We need Shelby Wright. Free meals for students.
Gene, the shooting was part of an attempted robbery, according to court documents, and the defendant was allegedly trying to steal some marijuana from his victim. Now, among the charges 22-year-old Makiva LaRoche faces are 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder. Just before 9 p.m. on October 7th, Concord police received reports of multiple shots being fired at Rollins Park. When police arrived, everyone involved had fled. However, as a result of the investigation, search warrants were issued for several areas near the park. Police also located a victim who had been shot, that person taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say LaRoche fired the shots as he was attempting to rob his victim of some marijuana. After the shots were fired, LaRoche additionally tried to hide 2 guns in a shed. Now, while Concord police believe they have identified everyone involved, they say this remains an active investigation and more arrests are anticipated. For instance, in one of the complaints, it says that LaRoche agreed with someone whose initials are SL to commit the robbery. Now, LaRoche will remain in jail until his probable cause hearing next Monday. Ray Brewer, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Crews battle brush fires across New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
We need strong supporters of our local public schools and the State House. We need Shelby Right. Free meals for students.
Fire officials say a brush fire that scorched about 5 acres in North Sandwich started with an ATV caught fire. It was reported shortly before 8 last night. The chief tells us the flames spread to the woods in an area along Young Mountain Road. The crews were able to save a log cabin on this property. No one was hurt. And officials say no one was injured in a brush fire that spread through the woods on Turnpike Road in Campton yesterday. Crews first responded to the fire about 6 p.m., which they say spread to half an acre and took about an hour to get under control. It's not clear yet what caused this fire, but officials say it may have been a campfire that spread out of control. In Danville, fire crews were called to Long Pond Road just after 1 yesterday afternoon for a brush fire there. They stopped it from spreading to a nearby chicken coop. And in Litchfield, Charles Bancroft Highway was closed in both directions for about a half hour on Sunday as crews worked to control a brush fire in this area. It happened after a lawn tractor caught fire. The homeowner suffered burns, but we're told refused medical treatment. And then in Pembroke, a pile of mulch caught fire, causing smoke to drift across Route 106. This was making it hard for drivers to see. Officials say the fire danger in New Hampshire is still very high, but it should not be as windy as we had over the weekend. There was a lot of fires sparked in a lot of areas across the state, Kevin.
Yeah, breathing easier today with a much lighter wind out there going into the afternoon. But those winds will pick up right around midweek, and that will bring in the warm air in which we will have in place for Halloween.
How about that?
Okay, and there you go on that report. Lots of fires. Harris hits campaign trail with Michelle Obama. Let's take a listen to that report from ABC News.
We're going to go back to our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, with the latest on the Harris campaign. Good morning to you again, Mary.
Good morning again, Robin. Well, with this race now, the election just over a week away, and the race neck and neck, Kamala Harris is out blitzing those key battleground states and leaning into her most powerful supporters to hammer home what is really at stake here. Over the weekend, she was out on the trail for the first time with Michelle Obama, and she was fired up. In searing remarks, the former First Lady argued Kamala Harris faces an impossible double standard when compared to Donald Trump, saying the vice president is expected to have a clear set of policies, to be articulate and never show too much anger, while Trump, she argued, has no clear policies and no decency, and people are willing, she said, to write off his mean-spirited antics. But Michelle Obama's sharpest attacks came over the issue of abortion. The former First Lady detailing in pointed terms the devastating effects of restrictive abortion bans, and she made an impassioned appeal to men, urging them to take women's lives seriously, warning a second Trump presidency would threaten, quote, the entirety of women's health. Now, Harris is back in battleground Michigan today, focused on manufacturing. She's out on the trail campaigning together with her running mate Tim Walz, something we haven't seen in months. Rebecca.
All right, Mary, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that report. That is it for this afternoon edition of WRMK News 12 at noon. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great afternoon, and I'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon for another newscast at noon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, everyone.